Hello. This camera. Hey gamers. This is a sort of update video slash E3 reaction video that comes out 2 weeks after E3 ended because I'm horrible at making videos. I don't know. I have a thing. I've mentioned this in other reviews, but the reason it takes me so long to make reviews and like videos on stuff where I'm in front of the camera is just literally that I'm like, when I'm at home, I'm in like uber chill mode. I kind of have to be in the right mood, in the right physicality, in the right clothing to boot up, to start talking like, see, look at this, I can't even form a sentence. To start talking about video games. Right now I'm in the right clothes. I got a Mario Odyssey shirt on. Oh yeah, Mario. Let's jump around. So I don't know. I'm just kind of nervous in front of the camera, I guess. I don't know what it is. I'm just in a comfortable environment and this isn't so comfortable, so I put it off, and then eventually it's like a month later and I'm like, oh, I didn't make my Detective Pikachu review. Uh-oh. Hopefully when I feel like that could change, but right now I'm not really sure how to change that. I think some of that could change when I'm like too comfortable in my family's house. Maybe when I'm living on my own or in a dorm room or something, that'll change. There won't be such a set of comfortability to break. But unlike usual, I actually have notes. I have notes on what I want to talk about, so it's not going to be an hour of me babbling about nonsense. Channel update stuff. I started streaming on Twitch recently. It's kind of hard because a lot of the games that I play are just... My computer's not great. I want to save up the money to get a new computer, but until I do that, I can only stream certain things. Sometimes OBS just doesn't. Just like I can only Let's Play certain PC games, I'm kind of limited as to what I can stream. Right now, my streaming playthrough, I guess you could say, of choice is Crypt of the Necrodancer. I had it already. It was in my endless Steam library backlog, but I booted it up in preparation for the Cadence of Hyrule game, which, I mean, by this point has already come out, but when I did my first stream of it, it hadn't. Or my first stream of Crypt, it's like a Zelda sequel spin-off thing, and I wanted to play that, so I did that. What was I going to say next? Oh yeah, well, so far I've done like I've done 2 streams of that. The first one I'm uploading to YouTube as we speak, and by the time I upload this video, I think they'll both be out. But my second stream was like right after E3. Hold on, I dropped something. My second stream was like right after E3, so I did a vague, loose E3 talk during that, but you know, I was focusing on the game and stuff, so this is the real E3 talk video. Stream stuff will go up on my other channel, Chuck Batman 5, if you want to watch. My Twitch channel, I'll link it in the description, is just Chuck Batman. I didn't need to add the 5 moniker for that one. So that's cool. That being said, I'm not going to be streaming for a little while because I'm going on a cruise next week. So there's a 2-week hiatus. I'm not going to have internet, so no YouTube uploads, no streams. For my 2 loyal viewers, I'm sure you're devastated. But I'm going to be off the grid, as they say. So now I've pretty much covered all my channel update stuff. Let's talk E3. I have a web page pulled up listing listing Nintendo stuff, so I want to talk about each thing in the Nintendo Direct in detail. I haven't done an E3 video since I don't know, was it 2014? It might have been 2014 because I loved the E3 2014 Direct. I think that's still Nintendo's best E3 Direct, probably. The height of the Wii U's power before they just stopped making. That's why, it might have been a 2015 video that I did where I was expecting E3 to be huge again, and then Nintendo kind of dropped the ball. That was the first hint that they were like, uh-oh, the Wii U's failing, time to redirect all our resources to the Switch, because that E3 had nothing. But I'm back to talk about E3 because this is one of the best E3s in a while. For me, it tops the 2017 one. For Nintendo, I have brief notes about the other conferences, but I was not as enthused about those. First off was EA. EA. They didn't really have a conference. They had like gameplay. They basically had their own treehouse, which was perfect because I could watch gameplay for the one game I care about and ignore everything else. I just watched the Star Wars stuff. I didn't bother watching the FIFA or Madden or the dumb developer interviews where the host is screaming into the microphone about nonsense, trying to be a hype man for hype that doesn't exist. I just watched the Star Wars stuff. On my notes I put, looks cool, we'll see. I've seen some people being down on it just because it's EA. I'm not going to be like that. I think it looks like a fun Star Wars game. It gave me Force Unleashed vibes, which I loved Force Unleashed back in the day. I think I have an old Let's Play of it on this channel, but Force Unleashed is a super fun game. So if it's anything like that, I'm into it, but I am skeptical because it's EA. So that's about all on that. They showed another like brief trailer for the game in, I think, the Microsoft conference, and honestly that trailer looked more interesting than a lot of the gameplay demo. I feel like they picked the most generic gameplay segment possible for the gameplay demo. Like 90% of it was walking down a hallway. There was this one really cool moment where the main guy force grabbed another dude and moved him in front of his own laser. More stuff like that would be fun. Now on to Bethesda. My notes for Bethesda are LMAO, Fallout 76 Battle Royale, fuck you. Because my family wanted to go out to eat, and so I started watching the Bethesda one, and I got right to the part where they announced Fallout 76 Battle Royale mode, and decided that was a good time to leave. So I didn't watch the rest. I heard some other good stuff. I went and watched the thing for that Ghostwire Tokyo game that they were literally starting that segment as I left. That looked fine. I mean, it was whatever. There was no gameplay. I couldn't tell what kind of game it was. I don't know. Bethesda did nothing for me. Probably the worst conference. Starting out with Fallout 76, like the other companies all started out their presentations good, so I thought I was in for something good, and then they disappointed me. So on some level, I appreciate Bethesda just starting it out with Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Blades, just like, nah, we're just gonna set the tone right now for being really bad and terrible. Todd Howard goes out there with his smug face on, we got a lot of well-deserved criticism, but we have a great community. We're adding NPCs to the game, which we should have done when it released. Ha ha ha. Goblin Todd, buy my game. On to Ubisoft. This is the first one that, started out strong. Watch Dogs Legion looks cool. I never thought did not think I would care, but the whole, play as different characters, permadeath-ish gimmick was actually pretty cool. I might pick it up. We'll see if they can actually deliver on it, because the first Watch Dogs, the trailers made it look way better than the actual game was, at least from what I heard. I've heard Watch Dogs 2 is actually good, though, so maybe they can follow that up. I don't know. I went into it hoping for Rayman, because they did. I kind of set myself up for disappointment, but before the Ubisoft thing, they did they streamed on their channel. They did like they had Spike Vegeta, who's a streamer I watch. He did like a Rayman speedrun, which I accidentally slept through, even though I really wanted to watch that, but it's whatever. I kind of assumed, like, why would they feature a Rayman speedrun if they didn't have anything Rayman related to show off? So I'm like, oh, there's gotta be Rayman. No Rayman. No Beyond Good and Evil 2. Not even in Assassin's Creed. Just Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy, Tom Clancy, Tom Clancy. Welcome to our Tom Clancy Direct, where everything is Tom Clancy for 40 minutes and you hate your life. I'm sure there's somebody who's really, really into the Tom Clancy games and just ate up every minute of that presentation, but like, I feel like even if you're a Tom Clancy fan, it's like, oh, just too much. I couldn't even tell the games apart after a while. I'm like, oh god, more Tom Clancy. Brief Just Dance intermission. Oh, it's coming to Wii. That's funny. Back to the Tom. Back to the War Shooters. Did nothing for me. Then there was Microsoft. I think I'm doing these out of order because I don't remember what order they were in, but that's fine. I don't care. Do you like how the lighting just changed? Thank you, sunlight. Very cool. Microsoft. I actually have a lot of notes for this one, but it's not that specific. It's the same as last year. Microsoft has their formula. Like, everybody else is kind of like trying to ape Nintendo's formula. And then there's Microsoft, who has somehow they've mastered the press conference formula as well as it can be. Just game, 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 game. I'm convinced the only reason they do the press conference anymore is so they can bring cars on stage. Which, that was probably the funniest part of the thing, is they show this car in shadow, and I'm like, oh god, here's the Forza segment. And then they play a Forza trailer, and suddenly Lego's in it, and I'm like, what? And then they bring the car out, and it's a life-size car made of Legos, and I'm like, what? That's why you do a press conference, so you can bring a Lego car onto the stage. Otherwise, the direct format is just definitively better. But, I don't know. So that's what Microsoft does, is they just pack their thing with games, and especially with Sony not being there, they could just, every third-party game that wasn't Ubisoft or Bethesda or EA, and some of those ones even made reappearances. Just boom, 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 boom. Game after game after game after game. Only like 20% of which I care about. I think a lot of those games just aren't for me. It's cool to like soak them up. Like the Keanu thing with Cyberpunk was cool. Cyberpunk looks cool. Maybe I'll get it. There's a lot of games, particularly Western games, I just don't like. They're like, oh, that looks cool, and then I don't get them because they're $60, and I don't know if I'm gonna play more than 5 hours of them or not. Keanu coming on stage was pretty fun. I didn't even write that down in my notes because I kind of forgot about it. Microsoft was the hardest one for me to remember easily. Like, I don't know. There wasn't anything horrifically bad. The closest thing to horrifically bad was the Gears of War segment with the trailer where it's just the girl and her faces, and there's like faces coming out, and it's edgy. And that, I think they botched the way they showed off Gears 5, but it's fine because I don't give a crap about Gears 5 anyway. But that like slowed down. That was when it started to feel like an E3 press conference. Oh, slow. And from there, I mean, they kind of brought it back with the Phantasy Star Online 2 thing, which looked cool, but at the same time, not really. I never quite got the level of interest back from before. Although for some reason I kind of want the next Xbox with Halo. I don't know, that Halo Infinite trailer seemed kind of cool. Yeah, there was no gameplay, but as far as a cinematic trailer goes, I feel like that was interesting, intriguing. I didn't even... I kind of want an Xbox Scarlet, but at the same time, all these games are available on PC, so I'm probably going to end up not getting an Xbox Scarlet. You know how it is. It's the Microsoft dilemma. They have no true exclusives. So let's move on to Square Enix. Oh, before I should go, a quote from Phil Spencer. Game, gamers, gamers, game, gaming, gamers. Gamers, gamers. The best part of the Microsoft conference is just hearing Phil Spencer say gamers over and over again in his very specific tone of voice. Gamers. Game. Now for the next set of gamers, Square Enix. FF7R looks awesome. I mean, there's some skepticism about it being... It's a pretty radical departure from the original, I think. I haven't played the original. But honestly, I don't really want to play the original. FF7 Remake looks way more up my alley. I like the sort of pseudo-turn-based action RPG combat stuff. Hence, like, my interest in Xenoblade or whatever. Obviously, this isn't going to play exactly, Xenoblade, but everything I hear about it just makes it sound like, oh, okay, this is my type of RPG, more so than traditional Final Fantasy. So maybe for some people this doesn't do it. For me, I'm all in. This game looks awesome. All the rumors about it, about how big it is, are just crazy. It looks crazy. It looks so graphically good. I don't care that much about graphics, but like, man, it's outstanding. It just looks amazing. It looks like I'd suck hours into it, and I'm excited to play it. My only concern is the episodic nature of it. I saw somewhere that somebody interviewed the devs and were like, how many episodes are there going to be? And they were like, we don't know yet. I'm like, what? They don't know yet? How massive is this project? So, I don't know. The episodic thing kind of puts me off. But when the game looks this good, I don't think I care. So that looks awesome. After I only caught a little bit of that though because I was leaving somewhere else when I pulled it up, so I kind of missed a lot of the gameplay demonstration for that game. But I don't know, what I saw was good, and everything I hear about, the more I hear about it, the more interested I am. After that, there was a lot of RPG stuff. I mean, Square Enix, the RPG company, but man, there was a lot of RPG stuff. The only ones that a lot of forgettable RPGs. I mean, the ones that stood out to me were probably like Last Remnant, just because it was having a that day release on Switch, which, always grabs the attention. But I've never heard of that game in my life before, and they didn't do much to sell me on it, and I think the same goes for a lot of other people, because I looked at the Switch eShop recently, like the top selling games in the past 2 weeks. The Last Remnant is only on there when you go to the mode that factors out all the games that have physical releases. Otherwise, it didn't even make the top 30 or whatever listed, which for a game that came out 2 weeks ago is pretty bad. Clearly, they didn't do much to actually make people care about the game. I think they just released it alongside their press conference and hoped that would be enough. And it's probably not going to be enough. But it's fine. They didn't make a physical version, so there's not that much effort they had to put to it. FF8 Remaster was cool. Now we have all the Final Fantasy games on Switch. All the non-MMO ones, anyway. I did not know Final Fantasy XI was an MMO. I knew Final Fantasy XIV was. I did not know Final Fantasy XI was a PS2 MMO until recently. Until I was informed by some other gamers. But that's other I don't know. Eventually I'll play one of those remasters on my Switch. They've always been there tempting me, but I'm never quite... There's so many games, dude. And I'm always almost drawn to buy them, but not quite. And then this is just a lot more RPG talk. Those were the two that I remembered. Then at the end, Avengers game. I've seen a lot of people ragging on this game. I think it looks cool. I was entertained by the trailer. They showed it off in a really weird way, to where there's still almost more questions about it than we got answers. So I'd need to see more. I put in my notes, Avengers looks cool, but I need to see more, for sure. The designs don't bother me. All the stuff that people are complaining about doesn't really bother me. It's just that I don't know what I'm getting into yet. So, and now for Nintendo. Okay. Hello, I changed my camera perspective. Sorry if that's a little jarring. I just wanted to be able to look at my computer and talk because I have an outline of everything they showed off on this website. It's hard to find a website that wasn't infested with ads, but I think this is about the best it's gonna get. Okay, so okay. First off, Smash Bros. They pseudo started it and ended it with Smash. Dragon Quest Hero. That's cool. I mean, I've never played Dragon Quest, but I think let's just talk about the Smash announcements together. The way they did. I don't know why I said that 3 times. The way they did the Smash announcements was really smart because they knew the Dragon Quest Hero would just seem like another anime sword boy to a lot of the American audience. So they did two characters at once. Dragon Quest Hero to start it out, and the big one for Western audiences, Banjo, at the end. I like that the Dragon Quest Hero has different skins based on different characters. That's cool. I think it's really weird that they seem to just be calling him the hero in Smash. Like just imagine that, and if in however long until it comes out, you boot up Smash, you pick your character, you pick Dragon Quest Man, and it just says, the hero! Like, I mean, I guess that's cool. It's weird, the naming thing. I mean, maybe it'll work like Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings, where you change to different skins and it says a different Erdrick! I like how Bowser Jr., you change to the different skins, and it's like Roy, Wendy, Ludwig, Morton, that kind of thing. Okay, just ignore the vacuum cleaner. So next on the list, we have Luigi's Mansion 3. I'll get back into the Smash stuff a little bit at the end. I just wanted to briefly start it out by saying how well they bookended the Smash reveals. Like, if there was ever a character, like, Japanese fans, happy with the first one. American fans, happy with the last one. No matter what, everybody is pleased by Smash. Everyone is here. So then Luigi's Mansion 3, I don't even really remember what was in the trailer for this. I guess they showed off the smash the dudes down with the vacuum cleaner, which was cool. But honestly, I was more impressed by what they showed in the Treehouse. I tuned into the Treehouse stream afterward, and they were showing, like, this thing where Luigi has to find this megaphone for this ghost movie director, and then he ends up in the ghost movie director's movie fighting a ghost monster or something. And I just thought that was fun. This game looks super fun. It looks a lot better than it did when it was revealed. I'm definitely into it. I'm probably going to pick it up. I've always kind of wanted to get into Luigi's Mansion, but I've never had a GameCube. I wasn't really inclined to get the one for 3DS. I barely play my 3DS. I don't need more games for that. It's weird that they didn't give a release date for Luigi's Mansion 3, especially because, like, the big thing about this Direct, there are, like, 20 million things coming out in September, like, a week before my birthday, which is crazy, like, but there's nothing. There's Pokemon in November, a bunch of stuff in September, everything else is before that, nothing for October. October spooky month, Luigi Mansion spooky game. Gee, I wonder when Luigi's Mansion is gonna come out. I don't know why they didn't just give us a release date. They gave Animal Crossing a release date, and that's been delayed to next year. So let's keep going down the list. The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance Tactics. Don't care about that at all. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. It was weird that they showed it so early in the Direct. I guess Netflix paid the big bucks. Now, can Netflix actually put their software on Switch and not just their games? That's weird to me. Netflix on Switch. I don't care about Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance Tactics. Netflix on Switch now. Seriously, I could make a whole video on that. Netflix would be like the platform for me to watch Switch on. Would solve all my annoying, I hate casting things onto the TV problems. I just put it in the dock. I want to watch it on the TV. But no. Whatever. I'll continue watching Netflix on my phone then, I guess. Alright, next one. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I have the original on 3DS. I think I got it for free when Club Nintendo shut down. I've played a little bit of it, but you know, it was kind of old and hard, and it's on my 3DS. So I'm interested in this one. This coming out September 20th. Here's the first of many September games. I was wondering if they'd add anything new. They showed that Dungeon Maker thing. That's cool. That's totally like a, let's see how popular a Zelda Maker would be before we make a Zelda Maker type thing. So that's cool. I'll probably pick it up. I don't know. The fact that I already have the game and it seems like a pretty faithful remake. It's not super high on my list, but I am interested. Alright, next on the list. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The Switcher is here, is the pun this website chooses to use. Switch, Witcher, yeah. Yes, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is coming to Nintendo Switch. You know, I haven't played Witcher 3. Feels like it might be a good way to start. We'll see how well it runs. I didn't notice it running horribly in that trailer. It's definitely not going to run as well as some of the other versions, but it's the complete edition, so that includes all the DLC I just heard a lot of praise for that DLC, as much as I have for the main game. So I'll probably check that out at some point. It's cool that I'm glad that's coming to Switch. Next on the list, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've heard a lot of people say that the fact that they didn't show gameplay in that trailer is weird, and they didn't like that, but for me, I'm like, I don't need to see more gameplay. They've shown gameplay in like 20 other directs before, and every time they've done these long, extended gameplay sequences, I've gotten bored. I've gotten so bored. It grinds the directs to a halt. I liked that this was just a story trailer. That's what we need at this point. We have no idea what the story is going to be. Now I know there's an actual semi-dramatic story to it, and it's not just Fire Emblem with Persona-light school elements, which was kind of what it was being sold as before. So now that actually is kind of what sold me on it. Seeing an actual story, which this website calls convoluted. I don't know if that's true. I think you just don't like Fire Emblem, Mr. Tom of Tom's Guide. Which, I mean, I haven't really played much Fire Emblem. I own Shadows of Valentia on 3DS. I played one of them on an emulator, but that's about my exposure to it. A lot of them are just hard to get a hold of. Like, I really want to play the ones on GameCube and Wii, but they're impossible to find for a cheap price. That's Nintendo, if you're watching this, which why would you be, but I'm going to say this anyway, re-release Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn on the Switch. Just up-res them to HD, pack them together, free money. There's way more Fire Emblem fans than there were when those games came out, and there's probably so many Fire Emblem fans who would buy those games. I would buy those games. Those games look more interesting than a lot of the new Fire Emblem games to me. I'd be more into that than Three Houses. Now the next one, probably the weirdest and most E3 press conference-y moment in the Direct, Resident Evil 5 and 6. They did this long, you can play Switch anywhere, says the Direct guy, and then it cuts to a spooky house, and then these kids going into the spooky house, and they're playing Resident Evil, but not 5 and 6, like the first one, and I'm like, what is this an ad? What is this even an ad for? And then they're like, 2 new Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. It's like, okay, so you're gonna take the from what I know, least spooky Resident Evil games and advertise them by having kids play Resident Evil in a spooky house? Okay. Clearly Capcom was like, we want this in your Direct, and Nintendo was like, okay. Because that was just weird, dude. Like, it's ports. Who cares? I don't care. Alright. Next one. No More Heroes 3. That's cool. The website's slow as frick. Okay. No More Heroes is back. I know they released the spin-off game, Travis Strikes Again. I didn't buy that, but I am interested in No More Heroes 3. I have the first one. I got it at a Goodwill like a year ago. I started it. I started making videos for it, and then the very first video disappeared. Like, I don't know if it either the file got corrupted or I just somehow deleted it by mistake. So I kind of just deleted all the videos of it, and I'm either going to start it over or just play it on my own time. I don't know. It didn't really grip me that much. The action gameplay is cool. The humor's funny. I hate the open world nonsense in between. Like, apparently it's supposed to be a purposefully generic open world, but that doesn't make it less bad. It's literally just drive from one location to another on your motorcycle and do menial tasks in between the actual game. Super lame. I hate that. Apparently No More Heroes 2 doesn't have that. Hopefully the third one doesn't either. Trailer seemed cool. This website says there wasn't much revealed in terms of gameplay, however, and that's true. There was no gameplay. It was a cinematic trailer landing on the Switch sometime in 2020. All right, that's a cool announcement for fans of that. There's a lot of little announcements in this Direct that were cool. And then, of course, the big one at the end, which we'll get to. Another trailer for Astral Chain. I'm going to buy Astral Chain and play it. Astral Chain looks sick. It looked cool in the first trailer. It looked cool in the second trailer. A lot of the game coverage YouTube channels I follow have just kind of been sleeping on it. But it looks super cool. I watched the Treehouse gameplay of it. It looked even cooler. Platinum Games makes good action games. There's a cool mechanic where you can wrap the chain around enemies and switch to different Legion monsters. I'm not going to explain it all here, but it looks crazy. It looks fun. It looks sick. I'm into it. Gives me slight Xenoblade vibes, which I'm always for. The trailers have been largely just cutscenes so far. I feel like they need to release a gameplay trailer proper to sell people on it. I mean, those of us who watched the Treehouse of it are already sold, but right now it's going to appeal to a niche audience, it feels like. A niche of people who like Platinum games or like anime games. I mean, I'm not like, ooh, anime game, but there's also in the Treehouse, they showed off some investigation elements. You're playing as these anime cops, and so they're actually I was thinking they were just gonna be they're cops, but they're not really cops. They don't do investigating. No, there's detective investigation stuff in this game, which is cool. I love that. That's awesome. Everything about this game looks awesome. I can't wait. Launches on August 30th. I might pick it up day one. I'm so excited for Astral Chain. On to the next game. But I don't want to spend too long talking about Astral Chain if you don't care about it. Just go watch the Treehouse footage or watch the trailers. I could play a trailer right now. No, I'm not going to do that. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order. Cool. I don't know. I've never played any Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. It's cool to see all the Marvel characters, but it doesn't look like my type of game at all. It's frenetic action, beating down hordes of enemies. The last game I played like that was Hyrule Warriors, and that was a very good game that I just was not into. So, they did announce an expansion pass, and it's kind of unclear whether all the stuff they've shown so far was in the base game or whether some of it is with the expansion pass, which is another thing that I'm not huge on. Next game. I'm going to go through these quickly. I'm going through these a lot quicker than I thought I would. Next game. But yeah. I'm just gonna read this because I think it's funny. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Yes, Mario and Sonic are back at each other's throats again in more sports competitions. You'll be able to surf, skate, karate chop, and even run for glory against your ultimate rival, be it Sega or Nintendo. I can't wait to get my hands on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games when it launches sometime in November. This reads like a promotional ad for the game. A lot of these other ones are very missy. They call Astral Chain a cliche anime-looking game. They also said it has a lot of potential. They said for No More Heroes is back, if anyone remembers that game. A lot of these are, weirdly negative. And then, of all things, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I can't wait to get my hands on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games when it launches sometime in November. Okay. This Tom of Tom's Guide is way more excited for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games than I will ever be. That being said, it did look like pretty... For Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, it looked pretty cool. I've never owned one of the Mario and Sonic games. I rented one from Blockbuster years ago. The first one I rented from Blockbuster when I was, like, younger. I played it and I had a pretty good time, but I didn't feel compelled to buy it or even rent it again, I don't think. But I could see myself getting into the next one. It looks cool. They're back to Tokyo for the first time since the 2008 one, so they're back. And they had a cool moment where they like flashed into like an 8-bit or a 16-bit mode. It teased that, but didn't explain it, so I don't know what the deal is with that. I also don't know if they showed the game in the treehouse at all. But whatever. You know, it's cool. It's cool that the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games series keeps happening, even if it doesn't have a huge fan base. It's just nice. You know, it's a sure thing that you will get on your Switch, except in 2018, where apparently somebody else paid for the Olympic license. I don't know. Next game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing is back and better than ever. Okay, so apparently Tom of Tom's Guide is also into Animal Crossing. I'm not into Animal... Well, I've just never played it. I've never played Animal Crossing, so I don't... Doesn't seem like it necessarily be the type of thing I'm into, but like, I'll keep my eyes on it. Ooh, I'll keep my eyes on it. I'm interested. Might release sometime in 2020. Boy, they put a release date on it. This website is terrible. You are bad. Tom from Tom's Guide, you get a 2 Toms out of 10. It got a March release date, March 20th, 2020. Again, funny that game got a release date and Luigi's Mansion didn't. But, you know, I guess they kind of had to give it a release date to ensure people that it wasn't being delayed forever. Because they know fans have been waiting for that. The last Animal Crossing game was, what, 2011, 2012? It's been a long time since a mainline Animal Crossing game came out. So I'm excited for those fans. But it's just like Pokemon. It's not a game series I'm huge into. Which, speaking of which, Pokemon's going to be on this list somewhere. You know, the site's freezing again. That's cool. Thank you. Oh, wait. There was definitely... Okay, this guide skipped some stuff, dude. God. I thought this guide had everything listed, but it did not. Because now we're at the end. So I guess I'll just briefly cover the things I remember that this stupid Tom of Tom's Guide. This is not a comprehensive guide, Tom. Bonus things I remember. Trials of Mana remake. That's cool. That's a game that never came out in America that is now coming out in America and getting a remake. It's coming out as part of a collection. Well, the collection came out already. It came out the same day as the Direct. That's another example of, like, cool little announcements for, like, niche audiences, but still, like, that announcement was a better Square RPG announcement than pretty much every RPG actually announced at Square's conference. So, cool. It was rumored that game would release in America, but I didn't expect there to also be a remake of it. Like, that's crazy. That's super cool. Another one was Panzer Dragoon remake. That was rumored. I know nothing about that game, but it looked gorgeous in that trailer, so... Alright, I mean, it's cool that it's getting remade and put on Switch. And then this last one I'm less positive about. Contra Rogue Corps, which literally looks like a Wii game. And not a good-looking Wii game either, like a bad-looking Wii game. They had a lot of shots in the trailer where they zoomed into the character models, and it's butt ugly. It's so ugly. And then they showed the release date, and it was September. And I'm like, oh boy. I was watching a Twitch stream of it, and I said in the chat, I'm like, that's not enough time to fix that game. Uh-oh. It looks so bad. I watched the YouTube trailer. It looks like I thought maybe my video had dropped quality or something, because it looks like it's running in 240p, like it's a YouTube video running in low quality. It looks so bad. And then they also announced a Contra Anniversary Collection, which is cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't care about Contra. And I definitely don't care about this new Contra game that looks like garbage. And then, was that everything that I wanted to talk about that wasn't on your guide, Tom? I needed your help, Tom. You put the Resident Evil garbage on there, but not the other stuff. Tom's a bad gamer. Tom's a bad gamer. I disapprove of Tom. I don't even know if Tom himself was the one who wrote this article. I just clicked on a website that wasn't infested with ads and was following that recap, which doesn't cover everything, but whatever. We're back to Smash, and this is how I knew that he skipped some stuff, because after Animal Crossing it went back to Smash. Also didn't talk about the Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff, but that's fine because I don't want to talk about that either. Pokemon Sword and Shield looks fine, I guess. I've never played a Pokemon game. But maybe this will be where I check one out. I don't know. When I say maybe about a series, that usually means never, because I already have way too many games to play that I actually really want to play. Speaking of which, Breath of the Wild sequel. Holy moly! I need to finish Breath of the Wild. Oh my god. Breath of the Wild is really cool. I love the world exploration, but I've been kind of underwhelmed by the dungeons and the story. Like, the story is just lame. Like, okay, cool. Everything cool happened in the past. Fun. And the side quests are so lame. I actually feel like I've been playing Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade 2, and they complement each other well, because everything that Breath of the Wild is good at, world exploration, that's pretty much it, actually. But it cannot be overstated how good Breath of the Wild's world is, how meticulously crafted it is. If this sequel, which looks like it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do, which is Majora's Mask Breath of the Wild. You make a sequel using the same assets, but add a more dark story with more interesting side quest and story stuff and actual dungeons. Basically give it the Majora's Mask treatment compared to Breath of the Wild as the Ocarina of Time. That's what I wanted, and that's what it looks like we're getting, because that trailer is way story-focused, dark as hell. They knew what to close this off with. I feel like this Direct would have been rated an above-average one in any other scenario, but as an E3 Direct, people would have been like, well, I mean, that was fine, but the streamer I was watching put it best. If the coolest thing in the Direct was DLC for a game that was already out, aka the Banjo Smash DLC, then it's probably not that good of a Direct. But they knew what to throw in at the end just to cap off an already slightly above average Direct and make it an E3 winning thing. Breath of the Wild sequel. Breath of the Wild sequel. I've watched that trailer so many times. I can't wait. I can't express enough how exciting that is to me. The dark, mysterious vibe of the trailer, the zombie Ganon, he cracks his neck. So cool. So cool. It looks like you might be able to play as Zelda. Oh, man. It looks like exactly what I wanted out of a Breath of the Wild sequel. Just like Breath of the Wild was exactly the direction I wanted them to take Zelda in, but now they can take everything about Breath of the Wild that was kind of weak and make it awesome, because they don't have to spend a ton of time creating the engine for the game to run on and the world or whatever. What is the page unresponsive? Cool. Good thing I'm done. F you, Tom. You suck. Tom's guide is bad. Why do I have 2 Google tabs open? Whatever. Oh my god. Yes, I know it's unresponsive. I'm trying to close the page. I hate you. Tom from Tom's Guide, your guide was not complete and your website is slow and you are bad. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Is the camera, we still rolling, right? Yep. Okay, cool. I had to lean around to check. That's everything I wanted to talk about. I'm going to go over to a friend's house soon. Too bad I drained all my camera battery. I'm going to go plug in my camera. I'm going to play some LA Noire. Expect some videos of that soon at some point, along with the 80 other series I need to finish uploading. Hope you enjoyed my thoughts on E3. That's all. Arrivederci! I mean, I guess I could Did I talk about Banjo enough? No, I didn't. I didn't talk about Banjo enough. The video's not over. I kind of stopped talking about Banjo. I love the Banjo reveal trailer. I mean, I love that Banjo's in, but more than that, I just love the way they did it. The way they ended this direct was perfect. Banjo reveal trailer that was like a remake of the K. Rool trailer, but even better. I love the K. Rool reveal trailer was easily my favorite of any of the Smash reveal trailers, probably ever. And then they one-upped it by throwing K. Rool with the DK crew and having Banjo be the reveal. So fun. I love Nintendo. I love fun Nintendo. The Doug Bowser joke at the beginning. He walks in. Sorry, you're not the right Bowser. Bowser's like, and then he leaves. Perfect. I love that. I was laughing so hard during that. Fun Nintendo is fun. And then they did their classic. He leans forward. He goes, but first, one more thing. And then they chose the one more thing. The thing they knew would generate the most hype. The thing they knew would win them E3. Nintendo knows what they're doing. They're on a roll. 2018 was a bit of a slow year for them, but that's fine because it gave me time to buy all the games I missed in 2017. Since I didn't get a Switch until Christmas of 2017. Now I've kind of caught up, and I'm ready for the next wave of Nintendo stuff. God help my wallet. Arrivederci.